Hello, niche website builders. How is everybody today? How you doing, Adam?
I'm not too bad, thank you. The weather's cooling down a little bit here, finally, which is, I don't know if that's nice or not. It's nice because I'm not boiling under the window, but it's, yeah. We moan in the UK when it's too cold, and then we moan when it's too warm. So
I know, yeah, as I say. We said how lovely it is to be hot, and now we're like, oh, how lovely it is that it's cooled down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's just been a bit humid, isn't it? Like I think the last overnight and that it's been a bit humid, so
yeah,
it's good to have it.
Yeah, definitely
cool down a little bit. So,
flashing the old merch there.
Much
little cheeky cup. Oh, Mark, yeah, your name says Adam Smith, by the way. Birdie just pointed out you forgot to change your name.
Smithy. How did that happen? Oh, I went out and came back in again because it was broken. It wouldn't let us go live. It said, there you go. That's my real name. Okay, so who have we got so far? We've got Brian, we've got Maeve, we've got Daniel, we've got Baz, we've got Derek, we've got Birdie, we've got Ian, we have Chris, we have Tony, and 2 Adams apparently.
Yeah, because your name was Adam.
Oh, that was me. Yeah, okay, I get it now. I got it. No anymore. Yeah, I only remember the last person that came in for some reason, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Every time you try and come back in, you have to type your name again. Anyway, so today's show, we're going to be talking about internal linking and why it's so important, and also make an announcement. Let's save that to the end. But before we get on to that, if you're new around here, please like and subscribe to the channel. The more that happens, the more people will get put in front of, and the more people will get on live stream, make it more fun, and hopefully grow the channel. So yeah, please like and subscribe. If we get enough likes for this episode by the end of the show, then we get to 35 likes, then we will give away some merch. So get hitting that like button, and we'll give away some mugs or some t-shirts or some caps. End of the show. There you go. This is all 3 in shot.
Nice.
Awesome. I guess one thing
he was wearing our t-shirt in his video this week. I haven't seen it yet. Did you see my latest video? I wore your t-shirt in it.
No, we did not. I haven't. Put a shout out to your channel in the chat, Tony, so people can sign up to it. Okay, so one last thing to mention before we go on, or 2 last things. We've got a summer sale on at the moment at Niche Website Builders. We get all sorts of different discounts for different products, or you get additional content for certain content packages and things. So head over to nichewebsite.builders/summer-sale to check out what deals we have just for this week. So 3 more days to go. So grab it while it lasts. And talk about building empires. We had an event back earlier this month. If you missed it, you can go and check out the replays. We had lots of great speakers all talking about website investing, how you make money online from building out content sites, essentially. So go check that out. It was some really great talks. And also we've already put a date in the calendar for the next event, of which there will be more, bigger, better. We'll have more talks, we'll have workshops, we'll have networking opportunities. And it's going to be 5 days rather than 3. So head over to building.empires.live to check out the replays from the last event, but also to register for next year's event as well. Enough of that fluff. Yeah, anything to jump onto, Adam, before we get onto the talk? I feel like by the time we get to Thursday, we've sort of told people what we're up to in the week. And then,
only so many times you can say what's been going on, right?
I assume some people only sign up for this one, so they don't know. But yeah,
I did have that devastating news last night when we were on our stream of my wife Jess curbing the alloy of my car. Which
is she stopped crying now? That's the question.
She has, and now she just needs to get it fixed now, basically. Otherwise, she's going to start crying again. No, yeah, she's all right. She was really upset because she thought the car's my pride and joy. She thought she was going to come home and I was going to be upset. It's fine, but I mean, when she was telling me about it, she said she was reversing into a parking space, and then she thought that she was driving on gravel, but the gravel sound was actually the wheel on the curb. And I was like,
Oh,
what do you mean you were driving on gravel? I said, you're parking on a road. And she said, yeah. I said, well, didn't you think it sounded a bit weird that you like sounded like you just gone onto gravel? And she said, yeah, I did, but then I didn't realize like it was a problem until the car wouldn't go anymore. Like she was proper like proper crunching it on there, didn't stop.
ouch.
So that's why it's so bad.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. So she just kept going, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Well, I had a second viewing on my house two hours ago, so I'm hoping that they want it. They seem keen. So I'm hoping that hopefully they're gonna go ahead. Might move this year after all.
That'll be awesome.
Okay, let's get on with the main topic for today. Today we're going to talk about why is internal linking so important. I think this is something I put there, the forgotten hero of SEO, because I think a lot of the times, for different reasons, people either don't know or forget. Literally, the forgotten hero, and it's such an essential part of like what we do, like which we'll come on to. But it's so easily, it's one of those things that's just so easy to not do and or miss doing. And I think unless you kind of get some context about like why it's important and why you need to do it and should do it, then I think that kind of like can focus the attentions a little bit. And I put it right up there as like one of the few, like there's something that I don't do because it's that important. So okay. So what is internal linking? Take it from the basics. So internal linking is when you're linking one page or resource on your site to another page or resource on the same site. So it could be page to page, which is like the most common, but it could be like page to PDF, right? It could be a download in that way. So it's that, either way, that's kind of an internal link. But most commonly, we're talking about from one page to another page, all on the same site. If we're talking about a page linking from another site to your site, we either call that an external backlink or a backlink, essentially, an external link or a backlink. So internal linking gives you a level of control over where to send humans and Google when they visit your site. So unlike with getting a backlink from an external site, you don't really have any control about what the anchor text is, what they're going to say, or what the article's going to say when they're linking back to you. You have kind of no control at all, but you have like total control over internal backlinks because it's your page and and your website, so you can do what you want. So you have control. And I'll come on to why I mentioned, a level of control over to where you send Google, but obviously it's also where you send humans. So if you're internally linking from one page to another, they're likely to click that link and go over to a second page or a third page onto your site. So it's similar for when we think about where we're in terms of Google as well, and I'll come to that in a second. And great thing about it is an internal link can have a similar effect to a backlink, and as I mentioned before, you're in total control. So, and also I'll come on to shortly, like why it can have a similar effect to a backlink without kind of giving away the rest of the slides all in one slide. There's reasons why it can have a similar effect to a backlink, can help boost the ranking of a page. So why is internal linking overlooked? Well, there's a couple of reasons I believe it's kind of overlooked. One, if you're a newbie, it doesn't seem that important, right? Like surely it's just more important to like get the website up. It's more important to create content, keep writing content. Maybe it's important to get backlinks. Can understand why it's important to get backlinks, but linking from one page to another, is it really going to move the needle? Is it going to be that much different? So I think definitely when people are just starting out, it's just not clear that it's something that's important and it's overlooked for that reason. But why else? If you are sort of aware that, okay, there is some importance tied to internal linking, why else might you not do it? Why else might you not do it? One, it's just time consuming. It takes a long time to go through your site and link one page to another. When you create a page and you sort of lay it out in WordPress and you click the publish button, you just want that to be the thing that's done. You're done. I'm done. Let's move on to the next one and publish the next one. And then you've got to actually, in reality, you've got to go off to another bunch of pages and link to that page that you've created. So it's time consuming. It can feel like, is it really worth the effort? And because it's time consuming, it's not only time consuming, but it's also, it can be pretty laborious and a boring task to do. And you end up looking like this guy in the picture who's just he's only internal linked 3 pages and he's got another 50 to go, so he's pretty fed up.
But you're gonna have photos with me.
That's the photos if you come later with the merch on, remember? You without the beard. and then it's just easy to forget as well. Like it's just one of those things, like it's not always on the forefront of your mind. It's like, oh yeah, I published my content now, time to move on. So I think that's a number of reasons like why it sometimes gets missed. So why should we think about internal linking? I'm going to get rid of that because I can't read John's quote here. But I'm going to go through, I won't go into detail these. I'm going to go into more detail over the rest of the presentation. But why internal linking? Why it passes link equity, and we'll cover that. You don't want to have orphan pages on your site. Orphan pages are pages that have no internal links pointing to them. We'll come to that too. It helps you establish topical authority on your site. Gives you topical relevance. Helps you rank for all sorts of keywords in a given space or a niche. Helps Google index your site. It helps keep readers on your site and pushes them down the funnel towards sales pages or whatever it is that you're asking them to do. Anchors can help rank keywords as well. The anchor text within the link. And as I mentioned before, like internal links can have similar effects to a backlink, and you're in control. Ultimately, increasing rankings, traffic, and income. And don't just listen to me. I guess there's a couple of quotes here from Google. One specifically from John Mueller. Another one just from Google. I think it was from one of their help pages. So John Mueller is quoted exactly, so it sounds a bit funny, but it says, the context we pick up from internal linking is really important to us. With that kind of anchor text, that text around the links, that's really important to us. So straight from John's mouth there, okay, he's talking about why internal linking is important. And the second quote from Google is, the number of internal links pointed to a page is a signal to search engines about the relative importance of that page. So from Google, straight from Google there, they're talking about the importance of internal linking and a couple of reasons there why you should want to do it. So going into a little bit more detail on this. So the passing of link equity. So when you get a backlink, an external backlink, or an external link or a backlink, I should have put there. External backlink doesn't really make sense. But when you get an external backlink to your site, this link will pass some equity, aka also known as link juice, to your site. So what that's doing is, every time somebody links to your site, Google sees that as a vote of confidence, and you want to get links from more authoritative sites because those links are more powerful for you and they pass more authority or more link equity than lower authority sites. But whichever way you cut it, getting a link from another site, you're going to get what's called link equity passed to your site, which is going to help not only that page but the rest of the site as well. And if that page if you get a backlink to a specific page, but that page then has no internal backlinks to any other pages, then any link equity or SEO value you've got from that backlink is only going to be limited to that page. You're not going to be passing any of that link equity or any of that link juice throughout other pages on your site. And that's kind of true because, when you're talking on page level, but when you're talking on site level, obviously, or maybe not obviously, the more links you get back to your site anyway, that's going to help raise the overall authority of your site. So sure, like it's going to help other pages kind of indirectly, but for all intents and purposes, when we're talking about page level, if you don't have any internal links, any SEO value you get from that backlink is just going to stop dead where it is. So by linking to other pages on your site, you can pass link equity around your site, helping more pages rank. And ultimately, if you're doing a link building exercise as well, you're going to end up with more value from your link building. If you're doing link building to a specific page and there's no internal links on it, that page is going to get a lot of help, but like nowhere else. So it's a really good idea to have this link juice or link equity flowing around your site. And the way that you do that is through building internal links. say no to orphans. So when and that's essentially what I just said there. So when a page doesn't have any internal links, it's basically called an orphan page. So this page will get no link juice flowing to it. Nobody cares about it enough to link to it. And worse than that, an orphan page. Hang on, this is completely wrong. I'm talking nonsense here. So an orphan page is not a page that doesn't have any outbound links. Let me take this from the beginning. An orphan page is a page that has no links, internal links coming to it. So it's essentially just out on its own, in isolation, orphaned, as it says. So sorry about that. I kind of got myself confused. But yeah, any internal links, it doesn't have any internal links coming to it. So at no point is it ever going to get any of that link juice flowing to it, because it doesn't have any links pointing to it. And moreover, if you don't care enough about that page, if you don't think that page is important enough that you want to link to it, then why should Google think it's important? Like, it's obviously not important enough that you've referenced it from any other article on your site. So not only is it not going to get any other link value, it's going to be considered from Google as like not being particularly important. If I go back to that quote, look at the second one, the number of internal links pointing to a page is a signal to search engines about the relative importance of that page. Well, you're saying it's not very important if it doesn't have any links. Establish topical authority. One of the ways that helps us to establish topical authority is through soft silos or clusters. And you talk about soft silos and hard silos. Hard silos are generally creating silos of content or clusters of content that are generally structured through the use of URLs and page structure, or site structure. So it'll be you'll create certain URL structures, which means you'll end up with different silos, and that could have the category name in it, or it's just the way that you end up structuring the site. Soft silos is you don't have to then go and rework the structure of your site. It's just based on the internal linking. So by linking a lot of related pages together in a structured way, then you're going to end up with what we call like a soft silo. And that's essentially what we call it when you're doing internal linking to create a silo. And by doing this, you're going to be able to demonstrate relevance. It's going to make it really easy for Google to understand, oh yeah, like you've linked all of these pages together and they're all about really similar topics. I understand now that you've got all these different pages on this topic, and once you've got to a certain number of pages, we're going to start ranking you for that, because you've got some authority, you've demonstrated that you have some relevance on your site for that topic. So this helps not only those pages rank, but will help the entire site rank for those topics too. So it helps Google index your site. So Google crawls sites by following internal links as well as looking at your sitemap. So good internal linking will result in Google being able to discover more pages on your site more easily. So Google will only spend a certain amount of time on your site, and this is what's known as crawl budget. You might have heard of that term. And essentially, depending on how important Google deems your site to be, it will spend more or less time on your site, and also how many pages you've got and things like that. So it will arrive, it will do as much work as it can. It's only got a finite amount of time to go and crawl the entire web. It's only going to spend as much time as it deems important on your site. So, and that's what's called your crawl budget. So you want Google to be able to find, in that time that it spends on your site, you want it to be able to find as many new pages or as many updated pages as possible. And note, if you have got orphan pages, then Google's never going to find that page through internal linking. It's going to have to find it some other way, which can make it challenging to pick up orphan pages for Google potentially. Now, this isn't often a problem unless your site's pretty big. If your site is huge, then you can have crawl budget issues. Generally, if you've got a small kind of niche site, you're mostly okay, but it can be a problem, and it's something to think about. And if you end up having a lot of 301 redirects, that can be a problem as well, because that's taking up time, Google's time, getting redirected from like one page to another. So that can kind of slow things down as well. So if you do have crawl budget issues, you want to make sure you don't have too many 301s. kicking about. But as I say, for most niche sites, that won't be a problem. It helps keep readers on your site. So this is something that we should aspire to for a number of reasons. If it's not obvious, the way that it would keep people on your site is that they'll click that internal link and then go on to read something else and look at another page. So ultimately, this means more page views if they're clicking through your internal links to other pages, reading other content, or filling out a form, or whatever it is that they're doing, they're going to view more pages. So more page views, generally for us niche site owners, mean more money. Most obviously through ads, you're going to get more ad impressions, more ad clicks if they view more pages on your site. But also, you're getting the opportunity to send them down a funnel and direct them to where you want to be. So you might be sending them to affiliate pages on your site, or pages where you sell products. Ultimately your money pages. So that's another way that you can be potentially making more money, is that maybe you'll have a really nice big call to action button, which is essentially an internal link as well, to a page where you're getting them to sign up to your mailing list or buy a product or whatever. So you're making kind of more money that way as well. If that call to action hadn't been there, maybe they never would have seen it and they wouldn't have got there. Also offers you better search metrics. So if you're not familiar, like a bounce rate, essentially when somebody bounces on your site, it's when they've arrived at one page, not looked anywhere else on your site, and then just gone back in the browser and then gone off to view some other site. And that's something that Google doesn't want to see too often. Now with niche sites, it tends to be pretty high anyway, because we're writing about blogs. People have come for a specific topic, they've got the answer they want, and then they go again. However, you try, the lower you can get that bounce rate, the better. And as soon as they view another page or another resource on your site, then that does not count as a bounce, and it won't. There'll be no bounce rate. And also dwell time. If they're going to be clicking off to other pages on your site, they're going to be spending more time on your site, and that's another good metric, another good indicator to Google that the person that came to visit your site liked your site. So if you end up having better search metrics, Google tracks this, and they're going to give you better rankings ultimately, because they've seen that you have a lower bounce rate than the average amongst your niche. The dwell time is longer. People have just spent more time on your site. They enjoy your site more for whatever reason, and that's going to help you get better rankings too. So anchors and keyword ranking. So anchor text is the text that's used within a link. If you haven't already checked it out, we talk about on our Age Domain Tuesday show. So if you check back on our stream, you'll find we've talked about anchor text and the importance of anchor text in great detail for about 20-25 minutes of an episode. So you wouldn't think there was much to talk about a link, but once you get into it, there is. So if you wanted to know more details about anchor text, then you can go and check that out. But essentially, for this purpose, this presentation here, it's just the text within a link. And this text can help Google understand what a page is about. So, for example, if I send a link to a page to keyword research, which links to a page about keyword research, then this will reinforce to Google what this page is about. This will help Google rank this page for this keyword, so the keyword research, and also other keywords related to keyword research as well, because it's starting to understand that I've got some internal links with the string keyword research or the anchor text keyword research. So it gives an indication of what the page is about. So increased ranking, increased traffic, rankings, and income. So we've covered the top ones here. So it's more topical relevance, more link equity passed around the site, no off on pages, better indexing, and keeping visitors on your site. All of this is just going to help with traffic and rankings and income, as we already discussed. But I think I've already discussed this now, but I kind of jumped ahead too soon. But you can also funnel people to your money pages. So that could be text links, could be buttons, could be images. You could funnel them to high converting pages. You can convert, send them to a mailing list sign up, whatever. Ultimately, all of these things are going to help you get more of all of the above: traffic, rankings, and income. So that's why internal linking is important and something that shouldn't be overlooked. It's an essential part of building a site. So to recap, why is internal linking overlooked? Well, as we said, newbies haven't seen this presentation and didn't realize that it was important in the first place. And hopefully, if any of you are newbies out there, you kind of got an idea of like why it is important. And of course, once you understand it's important, it's time consuming, laborious and boring, and easy to forget, and you end up looking like Adam there in that picture. But announcement, as we promised earlier, internal linking service be like, so instead of looking like this guy, you can go out and buy and look like.
Was that meant to be a GIF? Because I've fallen down this trap before and I had loads of GIFs and it's like,
it's not a GIF. It's a static image. But so which person do you want to be here? So
I hate parties, so I'd be number one. No, I'm joking.
So yeah, so internal linking as a service. So it is long overdue. Adam and I have talked about this for a long time. Like at Niche Website Builders, we wanted to be the place to come where we offer everything you need, every service that you need to build a profitable content site. And we, we feel like we do that to a certain degree, except there was always one major thing missing, and that was internal linking. So if you buy a content site from us or you buy a H domain from us, the internal linking is included. We do that when we set up the site. We do that. But if you buy content from us, we don't. We just publish the content. It sits there on the site, and the internal linking is then up to you. So now we're going to start offering it as a service. Not only so you can order it as part of a content package. So if you order, say, 10,000 words a month, and we upload a bunch of articles, then we're not going to leave those articles orphaned. Essentially, we're going to go and create internal links to point at that new article that we've just published. So you get all of the benefits that we've mentioned previously. So that works for content orders and subscriptions, but we also have a standalone service. So if you have neglected your site, if you've got started a couple of times and looked like this guy and then stopped, then we also have a standalone service. So if you have a site with 150, 200 posts and you've not done any internal linking, or you don't feel like you've done it adequately, then you can also purchase a service from us, and we'll go through your entire site and do all of your internal linking for you. So we'll do everything as we kind of mentioned before. So we'll be linking together related articles, so we can create that soft silo, those topical clusters. If we can't find identical topics, then we've got a question. Firstly, why have you got one article on one topic? That's a problem in its own right. But also, we'll just try and find best match. It's not always possible to find 3 to 5 links, internal links that completely line up, but we'll work on finding the best match. So, for example, if I've written an article about daffodils, and you haven't mentioned daffodils that many times elsewhere on your site, then maybe we will go and try and find a article that talks about and I'm thinking of the wrong word here, the variety of plant, the daffodils, the species, yeah,
the breed of the plant,
the breed, yeah. So the species of plant, of which I don't know daffodils is. Who was it who commented on the name of my plant the other day?
Tony will know in the chat.
Tony will know. There you go. So daffodils will come from a certain species, so we might search for the species. If we can't find the species, we might look for like article with like yellow flowers or something, if you've written an article about yellow flowers. So we'll do our best to kind of align the topic as best we can, which is what we do anyway, what I do for my internal linking on my own site. This is just following best practices that Adam and I follow for our own sites, as with all of our services. And we'll, a part of that, we'll create keyword-rich anchor text. So, we'll always look to link 3 to 5 pages to every post, and the anchor text will often be largely exact match anchors for the primary keyword they're ranking for, and then we'll put 1 or 2 that will be variations of that keyword or related topics for that keyword. Essentially, with internal linking, you can be pretty aggressive with exact match keywords. It's your own site. You can kind of do what you want. You just don't want to do that. You don't want to do the same for backlinks because that gets you into trouble for over optimization. So internal linking service pricing. So it's $50 per 10,000 words. So if you order 10,000 words of content, essentially you just add $50 onto that. So it's 20,000, it's $100, etc. Or as I mentioned, we can do the one-off service where we go and provide internal linking for your entire site, and that works out at $5 per page. So 100 pages, $500. Links should be in the description. If they're not, there will be shortly to our internal linking service, which we've launched today. So what I will say is that we're going to take on a limited number of customers initially for this. So if you're already an existing customer, we can also add internal linking onto your contents order. So if you're already ordering content from us and you want us to start doing the internal linking too, we can get that added on. So just feel free to send us a message via your usual channels to get us to add that on. But we'll be taking a limited number of customers on initially, just so that we can make sure that we get everything ironed out on the service, make sure that we're doing everything as well, and it's as streamlined as it can possibly be from an internal processes. Everything that we do, we try to make it as slick as possible. So we'll probably take on a certain number of sort of 10 or so customers, pause it for a short period, and then relaunch it again once we're happy that we've got those first customers off to a good start. And that's it. So that's the end of that presentation. Hopefully it kind of gives some context as to why internal linking is important and why we felt it was just so important that we did have a service for that. In saying that, we wanted to be that one-stop shop. If you're interested in taking something up and you've got any questions, feel free to email our sales team at sales@nichewebsite.builders. Or head over to the website and message us in the chat or via the contact form. Internal linking.
Awesome. That was great, Mark. We've got a couple of questions which are related, I think. So the first one is from Eric. Any best practices and or tools for link building you would recommend? I'm assuming he means internal link building because this is the whole title of the show, not just link building in general. So what kind of tools do we use, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Link Whisper. It's the only one really that's any. Well, yes, the only one that's any good for sure. Or there are others, right? But Link Whisper, in short, is the answer. I'm going to do another episode, another talk next week, where we talk about how we use Link Whisper to do internal linking. So we're going to go through that step by step in best practices for using Link Whisper to do internal linking as well. So with everything that we do, we share everything on this channel. We're just launching the service, but we're going to tell you exactly how we're going to do it on the service. We know that most people, it's because they don't have time to do it, or the inclination maybe because it's boring as hell. So we can do it for you, take that pain away. But if you wanted to do it yourself, then next week we're going to tell you exactly how we're going to kind of be rolling that out as a service and using Link Whisper to do it. So yes, Eric, Link Whisper.
Awesome.
We need to get the affiliate. Chris, if you're listening, get the affiliate link in the description. We've got an affiliate link. I think we should never use it. So yeah, put that in the description, Chris, if that's good. And then So okay, next question. How important do you think tags and categories are for internal linking, and what plugins setup do you use to remove pagination for this? As I guess this will help. Tags, don't ever bother. They're useless. They don't do anything. Yeah, look, they're just something that's left behind from a long time ago, and they're not relevant anymore. Categories, definitely use categories. It's good to have category pages. It's good to have content that's all grouped together in a category, again, to get that kind of topical clusters. And also, ideally, you want to do that, and it makes it easier for us to link together, because one of the features of Link Whisper, which we'll cover next week, is that you can click a checkbox which says only link to articles within the same category, which generally it means that's the articles you want to link to and from. It helps when you if you are going to use Link Whisper, it helps to have categories set up just for that reason as well. In terms of removing pagination, what's that plugin called, Adam? That we generally use?
We don't use a plugin to remove it, so we make our own custom category pages.
I think it's no, for pagination.
Yeah, no, we make our own custom category pages, and then we de-index the standard WordPress category page.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, it's got it. Yeah, that's right. So yes, it's generally an option in
Yoast SEO we use. Yeah.
So you can put it in there, but it's generally an option in page builders as well, right? You can turn it on and off generally with those if you're using a page builder. If you're not, I'm not sure if it's in Gutenberg or not, but but yes, we'll do it as well.
Next question is first time I managed to make the actual live, so welcome the dividend experiment. Love the name. I'm assuming that refers to dividends from stocks and shares. So yeah, sounds pretty cool. If you link to something relevant to the article topic, but not something you want in that particular silo, will it have a negative consequence?
If you link to something relevant to the article, but not...
Oh, so I guess does this mean you have to set up strict siloing? So you link to something that's relevant outside the current category? I think that's probably...
Yeah. I think once, I think sparingly, like I know there's definitely people who will just stick to the silo and will not go outside of the silo, and they're very, very strict about that. Like I think if one or two, if it's relevant, it's fine. Like you just don't want to be doing it too often, because then that ruins your cluster or your silo. If you it encroaches too much, you've now kind of started connecting articles together that are not relevant. So, I mean, by the sounds of it, though, I mean, it would be relevant in some way. Otherwise, you would be linking to it. But generally, it's fine. Just don't go overboard with that.
Awesome. Jeremy says, afternoon, guys. Afternoon, Jeremy. Can you over-optimize internal link in anchor text? What about a maximum internal links per page limit?
So... I generally go between like 60 and 80% of like exact match, like anchor. Like there's definitely been studies on that kind of stuff. So I think you could, but if you went 100% and you had 100 links all the same, but when you've got like a limited number of links, like I was talking about having 3 to 5 links, having like 3 or 4 of them as an exact match link anchor, I think is totally fine. Maximum internal links per page, I don't think so. Like I think we've already mentioned, like the more links help. Google's already mentioned that more links means probably means that page is more important on the site. So if there's particular pages on the site you probably want to send people to or want to rank, then maybe put more internal links on those. But in terms of a maximum, I always kind of go back to Wikipedia when people ask this question. You think about how many internal links going from one page to another on that. You can't get past a sentence without having 5 internal links on it, can you? Pretty much. So I don't think there is a maximum. I've never seen anybody talking about being penalised or having issues with that.
Yeah, and you can definitely be more aggressive with your anchor text for internal links than you could be with external links. So just keep that in mind as well. Like it's not the same rules that you play by if you're building external links versus internal links. Mm-hmm. So a quick question from Tony. Will the service be available for sites already built? I think you asked this one before you mentioned it, but probably worth just iterating again, Mark.
Yes, Tony. The short answer is yes, it is. So if you've already got a site built and you've not done internal linking particularly well or not at all, then we'll go through the entire site and do the internal linking for you. So yes, it is available.
Sweet. Baz says, I know Google says internal linking is important, but I haven't seen any boost to my site through doing it. Maybe it has a bigger impact when you have a bigger site. Be interested to know how big your site was, I guess, Baz, how many posts you have, but I'll also understand a little bit about the process, how you've done it.
If you search Google or even YouTube for case studies on internal linking, you'll find a bunch of like examples. I've definitely seen it. I just haven't documented it, but I've definitely seen, because what I generally get so one way that you can't use our service is if you've got less than 50 posts, because you have to get to a critical number of posts. Because think about it, if I've got one post on my site, I've got or two posts on my site, I've only got one post to link to. Am I likely to find a relevant article? Probably not. So I need to get to a certain number of posts before you can really start doing internal linking and having that kind of relevance of posts that will allow you to do that. So I generally start at around 50 articles. And that's kind of a requirement for the service. You need to have at least 50 articles on your site to do the internal linking. And so what I generally find is that depends, if the site's brand new, often you don't see the results straight away. So, if your site is still in the sandbox, if you do the internal linking straight away, you're still in the sandbox. You're probably not going to see it come up, and you'll see it the effects later date. But I've definitely got to a point where I've had 50 articles. I'm out the sandbox, and then I've applied the internal linking after, and then you see the increase in traffic after that. So, and I think it's one of those things as well that can vary. Like sometimes you'll see a big impact, and sometimes you'll see a small or next to nothing kind of impact. But ultimately, it's you don't ignore doing it. That's not a reason to ignore doing it.
Yeah. Adrian asks, can Google penalize you if you go really aggressive with your internal linking using exact
I think we just answered that one. Yeah.
I think we pretty much did, didn't we?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on outbound links to build relevance for a new website?
Yeah, I think this is important too, and this is kind of something that's overlooked as well. I would say, personally, I don't do that enough either. I know that I should, but absolutely, if you're linking to an article about a certain topic, then that's again going to give Google indication about what your article's about. So, absolutely, I'd like to see more case studies on that, and I'd like to do some more of my own testing on that. So I can't say like definitively I'll give you any numbers, but like it totally makes sense. And I definitely fall foul of not doing enough linking out to other pages on my site. It's one of those things as well that people always say, well, you don't want to link out too much because you're reducing you're passing juice away from your site by doing that. I think that's limited. Probably a limited problem. Linking out is going to be a good thing ultimately.
Cool. Baz just come back and said it's only 65 articles or so, and I did the linking manually. So just above the threshold, I guess, of what we would take on. You might not have enough relevance. They might not, depends on how tightly related those posts are. If you did the linking manually, there may not have been a ton of opportunity to do the internal linking, Baz, and that may be why you've not seen any kind of boost. Not to say you would see an overnight boost anyway, but could just be the case that the internal linking opportunities are limited because you've got just 65 pieces of content. Mm-hmm. That's it. They're all the questions we've got. Flow through them.
Awesome. So, we've got 24 likes, and we're going to get the graphic back up again. I need to flash the merch. Don't I haven't done that. Haven't had to flash the merch for a while.
Flash it.
So 24 likes. If you are interested in getting some merch by the end of the show, we've got 10 minutes or so left. We're at 25 likes. We need to get to 35, and then we'll do a merch giveaway. Let me flash you some merch, so you get you excited for what you could win.
Yeah, Strong Mark has got the right idea. I just want to mention, smash the like button. Yeah, I'm not going to get to the giveaways if nobody smashes the like button. So
we didn't do giveaways on Tuesday.
Nope.
It's been a while since we haven't. Weirdly, we've been getting more people turning up to the stream. Oh, that's probably a bad thing. More people and less people liking. But I don't know. Actually, it's a bit lower today. We have been getting a few more.
Yeah,
it's the week for it. Anyway, so here's some people donning our merch. Carly.
We're all looking at you, Carly. We're all looking at you now.
I know you're here because you said hello at the beginning, didn't you? Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw it. Yes, you did. So Carly, come on, send your picture. At least we're going to have one more. So we've got Tony here, and we've got a couple of members of the Niche Website Builders team donning their merch. This is all sorts of colors of t-shirts with the full logo, with the partial logo. And we have two-tone mugs, two-tone, not one-tone, two-tone mugs, and all sorts of different colored caps that you can choose from as well. That hasn't got the juices flowing. I don't know what will.
I feel bad now. Carly says she's had surgery.
Oh,
That's why. Sorry, Carly. Maybe get better soon and then send us one. Obviously.
Just have to ditch the bandages. Oh gosh, sorry.
God, yeah. Hope you're feeling okay. Steve, what's going on? You need to get on it. I never claimed my merch last time I won. Shoot the team a message, get it sent out, and then send us a photo of you in it, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
Good question from Jeremy. Thought of another. What are your thoughts on the direction of internal links? Should they flow one way, or could all articles in a cluster link back to one another?
So there's lots of different schools of thinking on this. So a lot of people talking. So one of the ways that is commonly talked about, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, is where you have essentially a topic page, like a main topic page.
Hub and Spoke page, you mean, is it?
No, it's not Hub and Spoke. It's what's Carl Roof's
Stone article?
Carl Roof's the way that I can't remember what is it Carl Roof? Yeah, Carl. Yeah. So he talks about you have a main topic page, which is generally like a skyscraper, like a lengthy topic page, and then underneath that you link down to the children of that page.
It's because of a reverse silo.
Reverse silo, that's it. And then from those pages, you also link down to the second tier here, and you only ever link one. I think you only link one down at a time. So you only go down one at a time, and that helps kind of link the link just flew. And then you can link back to that parent article from any of the articles at any point. But everything kind of goes down in kind of tiers. Like I don't know if I've described that very well, but there is different kind of methodologies that people talk about, and they show results that they've got. Personally, I think that's kind of a little bit of just kind of marketing, and I think if the difference between not doing internal linking and doing some internal linking is huge. How you do internal linking and what methodology you kind of believe in. There's a number if you look on the web that people aspire to. I think they're all ultimately going to have similar results. If you talk to Spencer Hawes from Link Whisper, he built the tool for internal linking. He doesn't worry about that. He kind of links internally, not randomly, but in topic clusters. And going back to the question that's already been asked, he has no problem as well about linking out to occasionally to non-topical articles as well, and still see like good results. So I think people get married to kind of some methodologies and think that's the only way, and you can do that. But personally, I think there's not. You can link to and from back and forth, and that's all fine as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think Meg literally just summed it up and said, just link to relevant articles. There's so many like complicated.
I just spoke for like 2 minutes and maybe
summed it up with a couple of words. Yeah. There's so many complicated ways of people trying to figure out how to do it different ways, but yeah, the essence is just link to relevant articles with relevant anchor text. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is probably stretching it a little bit, right? But like, if you always do your internal linking in the same way, that's going to leave a footprint of some kind, I guess, that Google could look at. I mean, I don't think they'd penalize you for that, but you're not supposed to be optimizing. You're not supposed to be doing SEO. You're just supposed to write content, right? So if you're doing anything that's kind of supposed to be beating the system, then I think that's probably stretching it a little bit. But
yeah. Zach says, just use links that I think readers will actually follow. Just focus on the reader intent. Yeah.
Yep. Totally. Agreed.
Ellen's asked, do you recommend adding internal links at the end of your blog post under a you may also like type of thing?
No.
Well, not manually, but we do this via a plugin, right? Add like a section underneath, which is just contextually related posts. I think the plugin is literally called and contextually related posts, and it just rather than the article just stopping, like someone reads the whole article, where do they go next? At least then you've got a little block of contextually related posts for them to go somewhere else if they get to the end. But those internal links are they're still internal links, but I think they've definitely got like a lower value than contextual in the content above internal links. So you should have them, but that shouldn't be your only method of internal linking by far.
Yeah, for sure. You can have them. You can have at the end, but that shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. That shouldn't be the only way. You want them. It's a bit like how was reference? What I was going to take there? I've completely forgotten. But yeah. You want them to be in text in text links, basically. But what Adam said.
Contextual in text links.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a mouthful.
Don't just do that.
Cool. How are the likes looking, Mark? Are we off 35?
Actually, where are we at? 33. Two more.
Come on, two more links. Two more links. Two more likes.
Whilst we're getting those two more likes, I will talk about the shows for next week.
Yes.
So we're already at the end of the week, end of the live streams. So next week, Age Domain Tuesday, we're going to go into our normal kind of flow of things here. We're going to do 2 Age Domain teardowns with a Q&A and with a guest, hopefully this time. We're supposed to have a guest last time. I'm hoping he's going to show up next week now. I think it was just teething issues with time zones in the first week that we'd done it with guests. So if you're interested in coming onto the show, we can talk Age Domains or we can talk anything website investing, but it's going to be on the Age Domain Tuesday show. So if you're interested, we've got 6 people already, so we've got 6 weeks lined up. But if you want to get in the queue for that, drop us a message through our website, nichewebsite.builders, and we can get you on the show. We're just interested in hearing people's story from the community and where they started, where they come from, where they've got to, and where they're going. So I think it's always interesting. People like to hear other people's stories, and we can kind of dig into some of the stuff that you're doing and maybe offer some advice too. So if you're interested in that, get signed up through the website chat or the contact form. On next Thursday, as I mentioned, we're talking about using this Link Whisper for internal linking. So we're going to cover exactly how we're going to deliver that as a service, exactly how that we do it on our own sites. And finally, on what date is it? It's next week. We're going to be on Alex Cooper's channel, WP Eagle, for the Niche Lifestyle Show. That's on Wednesdays, an hour earlier than this show. And we're going to talk about how to find the best affiliate programs for your niche. So that's going beyond lifestyle there, getting a bit technical for Alex there. But yeah, how to find the best affiliate programs for your niche is the topic for the Niche Lifestyle Show next Thursday. 36 likes. Talked long enough, and they will come.
There's a couple more questions coming as well, which is probably get them up. So the first one's from Jab. What are your thoughts about internal linking suggestions from Ahrefs? I don't know about you, Mark, but I'll go first. I think usually they're horrible. Most of the reports that come from Ahrefs are horrible. The what's it called? The health of the website, like that health report where you can do a crawl, is usually horrible. Pulls up things which just like loads of false positives and stuff. And their internal linking suggestions are absolute not the best. I was going to say something else then, but not the best, shall we say? Agreed.
Say no more.
Good. In-text links near the end of your article. The best way to keep people on your site. Yeah, I think so. And who just was the other question? Zach put it nicely. So we use, like I said, plugin to pull them in like programmatically or automatically. But it looks like Zach maybe is writing them himself and replace the conclusion with a what's next section that gives in-text links with a reason to read them. I guess that's for the user. People, get to the end of the article, wonder what's next, where they're going to go next. That gives them a nice little kind of segue into it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As some people put important links in the footer of their sites. Do you think this is a good tactic to tell Google your important pages? I don't mind answering this unless you want to go, Mark.
Go for it.
I think any kind of menu links, like be the primary menu or the footer menu, are just not the same as they're not treated the same as internal links, especially not kind of footer pages in footer links anyway. So no, like you've just got to go to big websites and see the different links they put on the main menu versus the footer menu. The footer menu are usually the least important links, things like terms and conditions, contact us page, that kind of stuff. in the main menu, the primary menu, you've got pages to category pages and your best pieces of content. Like that's probably where it should go, really, which is why you should have a well thought out structure, like category structure, site structure, so you can keep your primary menu nice and simple and keep those in there. But I think this is not an internal linking kind of question the way that Mark's talked about, where we do in-text, contextual internal linking. But no, I'd keep your important pages out to the footer, if anything, and try and put them in the primary menu.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Adrian's asked, do you guys use the Grow Flow feature from Surfer SEO regarding internal links? Nope, we don't. We don't really use Surfer, although I've seen people talk about this Grow Flow feature. It looks interesting, but no, we've not tried it, and yeah, we tend to stay away from those kinds of tools, really.
I saw a interesting video today. I can't remember where it was from now, but a theory around the May update as well, which is interesting. I need to dig into before we go into it, but they were talking about like how it's kind of we joked about it targeting AI content, but sort of targeting AI content, and how previously Google kind of moved away from authority sites being the ones that always win the SERPs to kind of, you know, good content winning, and now moving back to authority because it's hard for Google to tell the difference potentially between AI content and human content. But so they're moving back towards authority. But also there was reference to, you know, once, you know, Google can start to understand like the topical relevance of like pages and what they're about. If we're using AI tools, that you're ending up with a load of articles that all look really similar because they're all writing basically the same content. And that then kind of leaves a footprint because you end up with a bunch of sites that have all written about virtually the same stuff because of the AI tool. And I think that kind of things like Surfer and other pages like that kind of fall into that problem as well. Now we are literally trying to optimize to the SERPs. It's an interesting thought, and I'm definitely going to dig into that a little bit more and see what we can find with that. But yeah, it got me thinking anyway.
It's weird like that, isn't it? Because they literally tell you how long it should be, and people, the closer you get to that article length, the better. And then they tell you that you need to include this topic X amount of times and things like that. And you're right. You end up with the same piece of content as however many other people are using Surfer or the other tools for that same piece of content. It's, I guess it would be hard to differentiate if you're including the same topics X amount number of times with the same word count and the same number of headings, etc.
Yeah. I think it'd be really interesting to see, take a sample size of sites and see how many used content optimization tools or AI tools versus those that just didn't, and see where, you know, how many people got hit in the May update. It may not be relevant. It may not be anything, but it's definitely an interesting thought, I thought.
Another question from Strongmarker, an unrelated question. I started a website in 2007, so at the time I did select the permalink settings, date and name. Is there a way to change to post name for the settings without a disaster? No, I don't think is the correct answer. Because once you change the permalink settings in WordPress, like it'll go back and change all the old posts, and then you're going to end up like all the old posts going to be on the wrong URL. If your site is doing well, then I would highly recommend not doing this. If this was a brand new site though, and you know been working on it for a month maybe, and you'd realize you've done this, then I would install a plugin called Redirection. And when you set up the plugin, there's a little checkbox which allows you to the plugin to automatically set up redirects if you change the permalink structure. Install that, tick the box, and then go and change it, and then you won't have to worry about setting up tons of redirects from the old URL to the new URL. But for a site that's been around for, I don't know, 15 years, then probably it's probably not worth changing now, to be honest. You're probably way too far down that road for that now.
Cool.
Yeah. Carly says, the affiliate school on YouTube did a little poll where he specifically asked about AI content as well as intentional link building, etc. We'll have to go and have a look at that. wonder what the outcome of the poll was. If it's out, be interesting to.
Was it to do
find
with
out.
my update or?
I assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Right, we must have 35 now.
Yeah, we got 42.
Hey, I'm gonna get some
Smashed
music
it.
on the go.
Some music going. Okay.
I'm gonna get a bit of lounge going on.
You need to type your name into the chat.
Oh, yeah.
You type your name into the chat, then you'll get into, or type, not even type your name, type something into the chat, anything you like, in the next 2 minutes, and then you'll be entered into the draw. Just the way that YouTube works. If you haven't typed something recently, then we won't see you as a participant that we can then copy and paste into the draw. So type something into the draw in the next 2 minutes, and we'll do the draw after that. Let's talk about now. We've talked about the merch, talked about the live streams, done all the questions. We've got to tell people to start coming from the yeah.
What about the Building Empires 2 then? Just put the link up for that.
Okay, let's mention this then. Actually, new internal linkage service from Niche Website Builders. As the team have bothered to put this graphic together, we should at least bring it up.
Yes.
So yeah, new internal linkage service. We've already spoken about it. If you missed it, rewind a little bit. And of course, it's our summer sale this week. So effectively, if you order this week, you're going to get your internal linking for free because of the offers that's there. So same price, or maybe even a bit cheaper than you'd normally pay for content, plus some internal linking. Can't do better than that, eh?
Yes.
So get a big order in, and then we'll do all your internal linking for free. What's that order? Okay.
Zach says that's my favorite price, for free, I guess.
Nice. Oh, hang on. Is that Chris's affiliate link? Affiliate 43 there. You don't have to put the full F43.
Oh, yes. Just, probably yes.
Yeah, you can just get rid of that. Little bit. You don't need that.
Cool. Get them up there, Mark. Get this Wheel of Fortune going.
I feel like there's not quite enough people yet, but maybe it takes a little while to come through. Okay, here we go. We're going to do it. We're going to take what we've got. Missed it. You missed it. Okay, get on the tunes, Adam.
Tunes on.
Okay. Boom. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. I like this one.
Yes.
This tune.
East, isn't it? Lounge. Pumping. It's going to be Brian.
Congrats, Brian. Brian, you know the deal. Go to nichewebsite.builders website, go to the chat, go to the contact form and put in your name and we'll send something out to you. Shall I do a second one?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go on.
As we did get to, where are we at? 43. Daniel, I think.
Daniel.
Congratulations, Daniel. Excellent. End of another show, end of another week.
Yes. Well, another week of live stream. Still got tomorrow to go, sadly.
All right. Well, thanks again. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. If you're joining us on the recording, thanks as well. And yeah, we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Next week.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good day, everyone.